Hello YouTube, it is your boy B3 back with another kicking movie reaction review. I'm really feeling found footage right now. You guys know me, I'm a found footage connoisseur, an aficionado of found footage. I wouldn't call myself a found footage expert, but I know a lot about found footage. I produced 3 seasons of a found footage web series. I've seen every found footage movie I can get my hands on. It's a favorite of mine. I love found footage. And today we are doing yet another found footage film. Last time we did Blackwater Vampire. And today we are doing Slender from 2016. Bet you can't guess what the monster is. Yeah, it's Slender Man. But they never call him Slender Man because you have to buy the rights to Slender Man. Slender Man actually does have rights. Lots of people believe Slender Man is kind of a public domain internet thing. That's not true. There are rights you have to purchase to Slender Man. There didn't used to be, but now there are. You can watch this film on Tubi and I think Amazon Prime. I have it on DVD. I bought it when it came out. It's got a 3.1 on IMDb, 23% on Rotten Tomatoes, and a 1.8 on Letterboxd. The read-up for it is, mysterious events plague 4 friends after they hear a chilling story about a strange man who abducts children. Director Joel Petrie, cast Joel Petrie, Dan Schwavers, Millie Parks, Gillian Petrie, Ryan Templeman, Jan Williams, and David Cardona. Screenplay by Joel Petrie and Raymond Delmar. And producers Joel Petrie and Raymond Delmar. Okay, so this is more Slender Man found footage stuff. I know Slender Man is kind of... Slender Man isn't exactly something people are into anymore. One, because it kind of just ran its course. We got so much Slender Man stuff around 2013 and those times, and Slender Man just kind of ran its course. But the thing that really put the nail in the coffin of the fandom would be the Slender Man stabbings. So now it's kind of considered bad taste to do Slender Man. I don't think that's necessarily true. Like if someone accidentally got shot when they were hunting Bigfoot, you wouldn't, like, never be allowed to make a Bigfoot movie again. Yet the stabbings were a horrible tragedy. I'm very glad the victim survived. So that's good. But Slender Man is just kind of stupid. That's why I transitioned my Slender Man web series into a Bigfoot web series, because nobody gives a damn about Slender Man anymore. And in 2016, I feel like Slender Man was kind of dying at that point. But I still picked this up because found footage. And, you know, I kind of miss the days when Slender Man was cool. You know, it was fun. It was a good time. But, yeah, this movie is not great. Most of the movie is just the characters fooling around and also taking advantage of this woman whose children were abducted. They're taking advantage of a woman whose children were abducted. They're making a documentary about him. Now, the guy whose idea it was to make a documentary was a jerk, but the guy who brought in the idea for making a documentary about this woman's missing children, he kind of had a... You know, he kind of had more pure intentions. He was like, this is a good idea, but also it might help this woman. And then the other guy was like, all right, let me exploit her to her end. Like, there was one part where he was sneaking around her house without her consent and filming her children's stuff. And there was just some... there were a lot of times where he said he wasn't filming, but he was filming. All very unethical stuff. And then we get to the climax of the film, where he decides, hey, this documentary, this serious documentary we're making, I'm going to turn it into a prank video, because I don't think this documentary is interesting enough. What? So, he has the other 3 people working with him. This is all spoilers from here on out. It was kind of spoilers already, but heavy spoilers now. He has them make a Slender Man suit. And they're going to invite this woman to her abducted children's school at night and scare her as a prank. How do they get her to come to the school? By saying they might have found out what happened to her children. Isn't that fucked? And like 2 of the people on the production say they're uncomfortable with it, but they go along with it anyways, simply because he keeps asking him to. Like, they keep trying to back out, and every time they try to back out, he's like, please, this means so much to me. And then they're like, okay, we'll do it. Like, it's really weird. So they're at fault too, because they're still complicit. And then the guy in the Slender Man suit is like all for it. Like, he 100% wants to do this prank and has no problem with it. And they're just taking advantage of this poor, grieving woman. And you're like, you know what? Kill him, Slendy. Just do it. Just fucking kill him, Slendy, please. Because they're assholes. So that's one problem with this film. You don't care about the characters. In fact, there are times when you're just like, kill them. Please kill them, Slendy. They're awful people. Please kill them, Slendy. You can kind of feel sympathetic for the main character's sister. But at the same time, she's still complicit in all this stuff. And another thing about the film is you don't see the monster once. In a found footage film, it is smart to hide your monster and basically just tease them by like maybe seeing their hand or their shadow cross something or a quick glance of them out a window, but not enough to really tell what's going on. You don't see Slenderman once in this entire film. I don't know if it's because this was... Like, part of me feels like this film might have been made without the rights to Slenderman, and they couldn't show him. Or maybe they just didn't want to show him because they thought it would be more effective. But it really wasn't more effective. We only see kind of 2 supernatural things in the whole film that happen. One is this footage from a cop car, which was kind of illegally given to him because another cop wanted justice for the victim. And he kind of gets impaled on a branch, but you don't really... You kind of see him get taken, but you don't see Slender in the footage. And then there's another moment where, like, the female lead is possessed or something, and her mouth does something weird, but that was, like, really predictable, and that's in pretty much every supernatural found footage film. You know, we always have some kind of shot like that where the mouth opens real weird. It just added nothing new. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. But when, like, the last movie we did was Blackwater Vampire. And I was like, this didn't really do anything new for found footage films. But not only did this not do anything new for found footage films, it also didn't do anything new for Slender Man. Look, Slender Man has been done to death. If you're gonna do Slender Man, you have to do something original. Like, when I produced my found footage series, we had a Slenderman character. And there were multiple Slendermen. One of the Slendermen was a good guy. And we had a scientific explanation for everything. It was like interdimensional science. It wasn't paranormal. So, like, that's an example of actively trying to do something different with the Slenderman. He's just been done to death. That's one reason I stopped doing Slenderman stuff. He's been done to death. So if you're gonna make a Slenderman movie, it better fucking be original. And it just wasn't at all, in any way. Wasn't original, didn't show the monster. Acting wasn't great, but I kind of wasn't expecting it to be. Like, it could have been worse. Like, I don't really have any qualms with the acting. Apparently they're shooting like a professional documentary, but lots of the camera stuff and audio is like real bad, and I guess that's to make it feel authentic, but sometimes it's like hard to tell what's going on. I don't know. I just did not like this movie. Like, I hate that they didn't show us Slenderman at all. at any point. There's another found footage movie that I'm going to do very soon where they also didn't show us the monster the entire film, but it's pretty fucked that this film was so wholly unoriginal, and I don't know, man, it brought nothing new to the franchise. It brought nothing new to the mythos. Like, you look at something like Marvel Hornets that completely redefined Slender Man as a character. Even though it was technically the Operator, their own creature, but it was Slender Man. Visually, it was Slender Man. And it's based off Slender Man, so I'm just going to call it Slender Man. But this film did nothing of the sort. You know? I just didn't like it. And then you know what really pissed me off, right? I wanted the director character to die so badly because he was a jerk. He was taking advantage of this woman. He was taking advantage of all his friends. He almost got one of his friends fired at the very beginning of the movie because he wouldn't stop filming people in that friend's workplace without their consent. Like, he doesn't care about his friends. He doesn't care about the subject of his documentary. He wants to make money off this thing. He wants to be famous. He wants to be known. That's all he cares about. And it seems like he's the one character in the whole film that doesn't die. It seems like he just lives. And nothing even really happens to him. He doesn't even see Slender Man. Like... And then, you're made to believe that the other 4 members of the documentary and the mother are killed by Slender Man. Or abducted by him. But you never see any of their fates. Like, so, in the last found footage film I reviewed, Blackwater Vampire, I'm simply comparing it to Blackwater Vampire because that was the last one I reviewed and the last one I watched. In Blackwater Vampire, one of the fates of one of the people is a mystery, but it's heavily implied that the vampire killed them. And then the other 3 characters, we completely see their fates. We completely see their fates. And we know. But we don't know so much that it ruins the film. Like, this film doesn't answer every question. And that's good for a found footage film, and even for horror films, because it leaves an air of mystery. You can imagine something that's even more terrible. I always say people will imagine something that's more terrible than the truth. Like, that's what conspiracy theorists are. That's why hiding these things in these films is a good idea. But this film also doesn't really raise any questions. Like, what happened to the boys? They were abducted by Slender Man. Okay. That's it. That's like the only question is what happened to the boys. But you know from like the beginning of the film, because one of the first shots in the movie is a woman talking about Slender Man. And you don't totally find out what Slender Man is or why he's doing these things. But you also don't even see the dude. This might be a shock to some people, but when people watch a monster movie, they want to see the damn monster. Like, the Jaws technique of hiding it is good, but you gotta show us something. Showing us zero? Showing us butt kiss? No. You have to show us something. Every time there's like one scene where you think you see Slender Man, and it's literally just a guy in a suit pranking. Like, almost every scare in the movie is a fake out. The movie doesn't have a lot of scares at all. Almost every scare is a fake out, except for the climax. Other than the climax, every single scare is a fake out. It's like someone pranking. And that gets real tiresome, you know? That gets really tiresome. This movie does suck. If you like Slender Man, this is an easy pass, because it doesn't add anything new to the mythos. You don't even see the monster, and the characters are completely unlikable in basically every way, you know? They need to be likable so that their deaths, like, impact us, you know? That's one problem that found footage movies have. A lot of the characters in found footage films just aren't likable. And that's just a problem with found footage movies, I'll admit. But this one especially. Like, these people go out of their way to be assholes. So you don't feel anything for them when they die. And you don't even see them die, so it doesn't even matter. You know? Whatever. This movie pissed me off. It was dumb. It was bad. I see why it has such low ratings. It's not cool. So that's it. Thank you all very much for your support. Please remember to rate, comment, subscribe. Check out all the links in the description below, Facebook, Twitter, etc. I will review that Marble Hornets movie at some point. I saw it years ago when it came out, but I haven't seen it since. But it is on Amazon Prime, luckily, so I'll be reviewing that soon. If you want to watch this film for some reason, it's on Tubi for like free with ads, I think, and it's also on Prime Video. I don't know if you have to pay for it on Prime Video or anything, but I heard it was on there. So, thank you all once again for your support, and I'll see you all next time when we review another spooky film.